Spanish, one of the most beautiful, widely spoken languages in the world. And today I want to tell you my story of how I learned Spanish pretty fast, but also what I would do differently if I had to start all over again. And this is not a study 10 hours a day kind of story. Honestly, my Spanish journey was messy, full of unexpected turns, and a lot of mistakes. But those mistakes actually made me fluent faster. So let's rewind back to where it all started. When I was 12, Spanish wasn't part of my life at all. Then one day I came across this telenovela on public TV. I didn't understand a single word, but I remember sitting there thinking, wow, this language sounds amazing. It was dramatic, melodic, emotional, and even though I couldn't follow the plot, I was hooked on the sound. That's an important lesson right there. Motivation often starts with emotion, not grammar. I didn't pick up Spanish because someone told me it was useful. I picked it up because I fell in love with how it sounded. And that spark, it matters. If you don't have some emotional connection to the language, it's hard to stay consistent. Not long after, my aunt gave me a little Spanish vocabulary book. It was thoughtful, but let's be honest, it ended up on the shelf. Why? Because at that age, memorizing random vocab out of context was boring. It didn't connect to my spark from telenovelas. This is another lesson. Resources are useless if they don't connect to your why. A book, an app, a course, they only work if they tie back to what motivates you. Otherwise, they just collect dust, like mine did. Years later, life threw me an unexpected twist. I got a scuba diving internship in Tenerife, Spain. Suddenly, Spanish wasn't just a cool language on TV anymore. It was the language of the people around me, the language of the island. And then came the job offer. That was the turning point. I wasn't learning Spanish because it was fun anymore. I needed it to work, to live, to connect. That's when motivation shifted from it sounds cool to this is survival and opportunity. And here is the thing. Necessity is the ultimate language teacher. When you need a language, your brain learns it faster than you would imagine. The real magic happened outside of books and outside of classes. I started making friends on the island. Some were locals from Tenerife, but many were from Colombia and Argentina and other Latin American countries. And you know how it is with friends. You want to joke, you want to tell stories, you want to belong. So I pushed myself to speak, even when I sounded ridiculous. And that social motivation, it's what made me fluent way faster than just studying grammar alone. There is a big lesson here. Textbooks gave me the basics, sure, but it was conversations, late night talks, joking on the beach, even embarrassing mistakes. That made Spanish come alive for me. One night I mixed up humedad with humildad, and my friends never let me forget it. But guess what? I've never made that mistake again. Now, I don't want to make it sound like I only learned Spanish by osmosis. I did have a small manual, and that was actually super helpful. It gave me the basics, like greetings, simple verb forms, survival phrases you can call them. Without that foundation, I wouldn't have been able to build on real conversations. So the lesson here is balance, input plus output. A little structured learning for the basics and a lot of messy practice in the real world. Looking back now, if I had to start over, here is what I would change. Start speaking sooner. I wasted years waiting until I felt ready. You will never feel ready. Start speaking from day one, mistakes and all. Record myself. I wish I had recorded my Spanish at the beginning. Hearing yourself improves pronunciation way faster. Smarter vocab learning. Instead of random word lists, I would focus on phrases I actually needed in daily life. Don't fear accents. Back then, I worried about whether I sounded more Colombian, Canarian, Argentine, or Spanish. Now I realize it doesn't matter. What matters is being understood. So that's how I learned Spanish. A telenovela spark, a dusty vocab book, an internship in Spain, friends who pushed me, and a little manual for structure. And honestly, I wouldn't trade that messy journey for anything. It taught me that the fastest way to learn isn't about being perfect. It's about being engaged, motivated, and surrounded by the language. So, if you're starting Spanish today or any other language, my advice is find your spark, surround yourself with people who speak it, and do not wait to be perfect. Just dive in. Now, I would love to hear from you. What was your first spark for learning a language? Drop it in the comments, I would love to know.